All right, we are back. It's No Apologies on Beck, your after-hours oasis of sanity. I'm your host, Rick Becker, co-host Lori Hinn, special guest coming in remote, Judy Estenson. Judy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Glad to be here.
So where are you remoting in from?
I'm remoting in from my dining room at home.
Okay, which is where?
Oh, that's what you wanted to know. Well, I'm from Warwick, North Dakota.
Got it.
And I've just recently been redistricted into District 15. So this is the first time that I am actually in a community that is my community, Devil's Lake.
Nice.
Nice. So you've just recently been endorsed at your district convention for Senate, to run for state Senate from your district.
I did.
Yeah. Why don't you tell our viewers just a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background?
Well, I've been a nurse for over 40 years, raised 5 children, and am married to a farmer and a rancher. So I've lived the rural life, but in a fairly decent sized city of Devil's Lake. So that's pretty much concludes like what my life was full of, with 5 children and a working rancher, right?
Right.
So after my children started getting older, I just decided, hey, I think I could get involved in politics. It's a really interesting story. And so I've been very involved in the GOP at the state level, at the district level, and as a candidate in the last 10 years.
Excellent.
Excellent. I'm going to have our guys pull up the map of your district, District 15. We want our viewers to know where you are working with your district. And so I see Ramsey County is big, Minnewacan, Fort Totten, Warwick, Oberon, no, let's see, Candu. Okay, there's a few names I recognize there. Churches Ferry and Candu, a lot of goose hunting in that area. And then, of course, Devil's Lake being the biggie.
Right.
So, okay, so that's what you're...
That is the new 15.
That's the new 15. Folks, if you live in that area, then what you want to do is become involved. You want to get out the vote for the primary. You want to listen to what Judy has to say. So, if I can, Judy, I'd like to ask you then, what specifically made you want to jump into this race? What do you think you bring to the race?
You know, I think that my why is I've always been involved. I've always been interested. I am a very conservative candidate who truly believes in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Republican platform. And so as I've watched over the last years, I sometimes have noted that there are candidates who just really don't obviously believe in the platform and support it. And, you know, I think that we can all agree that we could have some differences, but as Republicans, and when we're running for office and we're letting people know that we're Republicans, I think we should agree on more things than not. And over the years, I have noted that that is not always the case in the elected officials. And when I was moved into 15, I determined that I would run for the Senate, mostly last minute. I'm not really wanting to jump into the race again, but just not being able to allow these incumbents to just keep getting reelected, even though they're really not supporting Republican values.
Excellent. Well, that's a great segue. I have a graphic, which I haven't run past you. I never do when we have candidates. I'm doing it on my own. So pull up our next one. Senator Dave Elke is the incumbent for the seat to which you've just been endorsed. Now, Dave is a very nice guy. I know our viewers hear me say that a lot, but most of the people here are good, nice people. This is not about anything personally, but I have to say this record is astounding. So the American Conservative Union gave him a 49 overall rating in 2021. He was tied for the lowest conservative Republican senator with Judy Lee in Fargo. Now that is hard to do, but here's what I find more shocking. If you look at that 14 and the 31, what you have is the ranking for budget, spending, and taxes. 14 is in the middle of deep Democrat ideology. 31 is his lifetime record on spending. So 14 is abominable. I mean, I like you, Dave, but you're spending too much money. What do you have to say about that, Judy? I know I'm just teed up a softball
You know,
for you, but this is how I feel, man.
I just, my whole encouragement is for people to stand up and get involved, and really encouraging people to realize that they really choose their candidate at the district level. It's the people that are involved there that get to choose who is going to be on the ballot. It isn't who you vote for in November when you probably only have a few candidates. So I think what's happened over the years is a lot of people have sometimes had to say, well, I didn't have any other choice but to support the incumbent. That's the only person that's ever there. I really believe that iron sharpens iron, and that in the party, it's not a horrible thing to challenge an incumbent and give people a choice. My whole candidacy was about, it's your voice, it's your choice. Please use your voice to send somebody to Bismarck who's actually going to more closely align with your values. And when I looked at Dave's voting record overall, I realized that he and I have a huge distinction in how we would vote. Therefore, if you had two candidates that really are going to vote the same, then there's not much of a race. You may as well vote for the incumbent. But if you're not happy with how the incumbent has been voting, then you really should have a choice, and somebody should stand up and challenge the incumbent, and so that we could actually have better representation instead of just voting for the same old, same old.
Yep. And so that's what you did. You went to the district level and went to the endorsing convention. And how did that turn out?
It was a great turnout. I'm always excited when more people want to be involved in the process. And we very handily defeated the incumbent 70 something to 40 something. I don't remember the exact vote. I should have it, but very nicely. And those people didn't just show up because they just wanted a new candidate, although that's huge. They want to be involved in the process. They want the process to begin from we the people upward, which is why we have elections every 4 years instead of just voting for an incumbent and giving him, the seat until he either dies or retires, like we do the Supreme Court. So that's how come we have elections every 4 years, so we can determine whether we're happy with how our elected officials are voting.
Judy, we've got a situation, and it's not so much that you pushed it to us, but we are aware of it, and you didn't refuse to allow us to discuss it. So thank you. One thing I'm concerned about, I was accused actually by the state party chair, Perry Schaefer, about lying on this TV program. And when asked what kind of lies I'm telling, the answer was when you say that there are shenanigans going on in the party. Now, I think what you are experiencing is one of those shenanigans I'm talking about. And I think that maybe vindicates that I'm not lying about this. We are going to go through an email that we received sent by a constituent in the district to the district chairwoman, and then her response. And to set it off, just tell us a little overview of what's concerning about this interaction.
Well, the concerning thing is that I've been in politics for 10 years, and there are shenanigans in the party. Where there are people, there are typically shenanigans. And I've seen them as I've been a statewide candidate. I've seen them and heard about them in other districts. And so when I ran in District 15 for the Senate seat, I knew that the leadership would not be thrilled with me challenging an incumbent. But I typically don't care what other people think. And so I assumed that when I would get the nomination, and I did, that they would then play party nice and have to respectfully support the 3 endorsed candidates. But I quickly received a phone call from the chairman explaining that that was not the case, and that she intended, and the executive committee intended to support the incumbent. And so I was rather surprised about that. And I expressed, well, would you support me if I win the primary? And she said, well, he can run as an independent right up to the general election, which to me, I perceive that as no. So,
wow.
Let me clarify
Okay.
for your district chairperson that you cannot run in the primary. as a Republican, lose, and then run for the same seat as an independent. So your district chairperson could use a little, perhaps, re-looking at what the rules are and what the laws are about elections in the state. So
Let's
we
get to
have
the email.
We have an email that we want to go over. A lot of reading here.
Okay, so this is a lot of reading. This is an email that was forwarded to us that we can share with you. I would like to express my disappointment and borderline disgust for the decision made by the Executive Committee for GOP District 15. This was not written by Judy Estenson. This was written by a constituent.
To who?
To the chairman of District 15.
Okay.
There was record attendance for a District 15 GOP convention. I hope that is not taken lightly. The decision to completely ignore the people's choice to back Judy Estenson is reproachable. Judy went through the correct and open avenues to place her nomination and election to be backed by the GOP. According to the platform rules on ndgop.org, Section B, the balloting on candidates shall continue until a candidate shall have received a majority of votes cast of the certified convention delegates casting a vote. If a majority is reached during the announcement and tallying of votes, the convention secretary shall continue the calling and counting until every district has announced its vote and all votes are recorded. At the conclusion of the balloting, during which a candidate has received a majority vote of the certified delegates casting a vote, the convention chair shall declare the candidate endorsed and the official candidate of the North Dakota Republican Party at the primary election to be held in June or elected to the position if the position was an election. It is my understanding this is exactly what took place on Saturday. If Judy is the endorsed candidate chosen by the people of District 15, she should be receiving the support and allocations to make her run successful. How a motion, second, vote, and declaration can be undone behind closed doors is beyond me. This was the letter written to the chair. Now, while Judy Estenson's, now this next one is a letter. This is an email that is going to be coming back
Let me hit this one. So yeah, so this is the response from the chairman.
Right.
The chairman. This is District 15 chairman responding to the person who had a concern.
Right.
While Judy's supporters outnumbered the Elke supporters on Saturday, our Republican Party has always run as a team in elections. Dave Elke is our incumbent senator through 2022. He has been in office since 2006. Since that time, our team has won every election, many times without Democrats challenging. Even they decided no one could beat our team. We are supporting Dave and not a two-time loser in Judy Estenson. By the way, the person who just won the endorsement.
Correct.
She challenged Dave Commissioner Doug Goering a few years back and lost, etc. The two Republican House candidates in District 23 won, but Republicans crossed over to vote for Joan, yada, yada. Go to the next one. Following the Senate endorsement last Saturday, many of the Estenson supporters got up and left. I tell you what, the same thing happened when John Hoeven beat Gary Lee in 2000. Those supporters got up and left too. That happens, man.
It does.
Deal with it. She says that was disrespectful. Because of that and because our incumbents support Dave in taking the vote to the primary and our executive committee is in complete agreement, we run our people as a team, and Judy is not a team player. Her supporters are only for her, not for the rest of our team. Now, the Bastiat faction led by Rick Becker seems to know that they know better. They are openly working against longtime Republican legislators. No, we're not. Only the rhinos. To oust district chairmen that do not support their cause. Why? Because they cannot tolerate big tent concept that our party embraces. Yes, if the big tent means that you embrace Democrats and progressives, you're right. They only want Republicans to think and vote the way they do, meaning they only want Republicans to think and vote according to the Republican platform. That's true. Republicans should not be fighting Republicans, but that's the way it is, thanks to Rick Becker. Aw. Becker and his supporters really should be affiliating with the Libertarian Party. Nope. Not the Republican Party. They are viewed as a cancer in our party. Yes, they are, by the country club establishment, big spending, big government Republicans. That is true. We are viewed as a cancer. Go to the next one. Our representative said they will not participate in any fundraising or campaign events with Judy, nor will they support her candidacy. That is very, very sad. Dave's colleagues in the Senate are just as adamant that he needs to be returned to the office. Yeah, I suppose progressives want more progressives. No doubt about that. Judy is new to our district due to redistricting. She did not seek any counsel. No, nor should she have. She jumped into the race feet first. Good for you, Judy. Jump right in. She's learning a hard lesson. Yes, she's learning that she cannot count on you to follow the rules, Madam Chairman. We will prevail in the primary and again this fall. All right. Well, Judy, we are going to go out with me saying this. I have a question for State Republican Party Chairman Perry Schaefer. I'm not going to ask you to apologize for calling me a liar, but I will ask you to renounce and disavow what's happening in District 15. The district chairman needs to stand by and support the 3 endorsed candidates, period. Do your job, Perry.